Have you ever looked at your tongue in the mirror and wondered why it has a certain color or texture? Most people never think about it. They brush their teeth, maybe glance at their tongue for a second, and move on. But your tongue is more than just a muscle that helps you taste and speak. It's like a little health report card inside your mouth. The truth is, your tongue can reveal early signs of health problems in your body long before you feel any pain or notice any serious symptoms. Doctors in traditional Chinese medicine and even modern medical science agree that tongue color and appearance can act as a mirror reflecting the state of your internal organs. So next time you notice a change in the shade, coating, or overall look of your tongue, don't ignore it, because your body might be sending you an important message. Imagine this. You wake up one morning, head to the bathroom, and see that your tongue looks more pale than usual. You might shrug it off thinking it's nothing, but a pale tongue can sometimes mean anemia, or that your blood doesn't have enough healthy red cells. Or maybe your tongue looks bright red, almost like a strawberry. That could be a warning sign of inflammation or vitamin deficiency. And if your tongue looks yellow or coated with patches, it might mean your liver or stomach is under stress. These are the kinds of silent signals your tongue sends every single day, if only we take the time to pay attention. Now you might be asking, why the tongue? What makes it so special as an indicator of health? The tongue is richly supplied with blood vessels, nerves, and tissues. Because of this, changes inside your body often show up there first. It reacts quickly to shifts in circulation, hydration, nutrient levels, and infections. It's like nature's free health monitor, available to you every time you open your mouth. And unlike complicated medical tests, you don't need expensive equipment to see it. All you need is a mirror and the awareness of what different tongue colors might mean. Think about how incredible that is. Every single morning, you already have a built-in diagnostic tool waiting for you. The only question is, do you know how to read it? If you don't, then this journey we're taking together will open your eyes. By the end of it, you'll not only know what your tongue is trying to say, but you'll also be able to catch small warning signs before they turn into big health problems. Let's take a moment to picture different colors. What if your tongue looks pale or almost whitish? In many cases, that means your body is low on energy, blood flow is weak, or you might not be getting enough iron and nutrients. People with pale tongues often complain about tiredness, weakness, or feeling cold all the time. That simple color change can be your first clue that your body needs support before fatigue becomes a bigger problem. On the other hand, what if your tongue looks bright red? Not just normal, healthy pink, but really red like a ripe strawberry. That's often a signal of heat inside the body. In modern terms, it can mean inflammation. Maybe your immune system is working overtime. Maybe you're lacking certain vitamins like B12, or maybe your body is under stress. Some people with a red tongue also feel feverish or complain of burning sensations. So when your tongue goes red, it's like your body is shouting, "Something's heating up inside, pay attention." But that's not all. Sometimes your tongue can appear yellowish, especially with a coating. This might suggest issues with digestion, liver stress, or even an infection. A yellow tongue isn't just about oral hygiene. It can be a clue that your stomach is producing too much heat or that toxins are building up. And then there's the purple tongue, which is less common but very important. A purple or bluish tongue may indicate circulation problems or that oxygen isn't flowing smoothly in the body. In some cases, it's even linked with heart or lung issues. That means if you ever notice your tongue turning purple, it's not something to take lightly. And what about the black or very dark tongue? While it may sound alarming, sometimes it's caused by harmless things like food or bacteria buildup, especially in people who smoke or use certain medications. But a persistently dark tongue can also be a sign of poor digestion or a weakened immune system. So even though it might not always be dangerous, it's always worth paying attention. 2. Now let's pause here for a second. You might already be thinking, wow, my tongue can say so much about me. And that's exactly the point. The hook here is simple. Your tongue isn't just about taste. It's your personal health messenger. The challenge is that most people never listen. But you're not like most people, because now you're learning to understand the signals. And once you start noticing them, you'll never look at your tongue the same way again. Think of it this way. Your tongue is like the check engine light on your car. When it changes color, it's telling you that something inside needs attention. If you ignore it, small issues can turn into big repairs. But if you act early, you save yourself a lot of trouble. The same goes for your body. Listening to your tongue today could save you from serious health problems tomorrow. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. The tongue doesn't just show color, it also shows texture, coating, and even shape. For example, a swollen tongue might mean your body is retaining too much fluid or struggling with allergies. A thin tongue might mean dehydration or lack of nutrition. A tongue with cracks could mean dryness, vitamin deficiencies, or even digestive imbalances. Every little detail adds a piece to the puzzle of your health. If you've ever noticed a thick white coating on your tongue, that could be a sign of yeast overgrowth, poor digestion, or even a weakened immune system. And if the coating is yellow, it might mean your stomach or liver is under extra pressure. These details are not random. They're messages. Your body doesn't speak with words, it speaks with signs. And your tongue is one of its clearest voices. Now, I want you to imagine this scenario. A person feels fine, no major problems, just a little tiredness here and there. One day they check their tongue and see it's unusually pale. They think nothing of it. Months later, they're diagnosed with anemia. Another person notices their tongue turning red and swollen, but they ignore it. Later, they find out they had a serious vitamin deficiency. These are real possibilities, and they show why it's important not to dismiss what your tongue is saying. The beauty of this knowledge is that it gives you power. You don't need to be a doctor to see your tongue. You don't need expensive equipment. All you need is awareness and the willingness to pay attention. By simply checking your tongue once a day, you can catch small signs of imbalance and take steps to correct them. Drink more water, eat more nutrient-rich foods, improve your digestion, or seek medical advice when needed. It's about prevention, not just reaction. As we move forward in this journey, remember that your tongue isn't just an organ, it's a storyteller. And the story it tells could be the difference between catching a problem early and facing a bigger issue later. So the next time you brush your teeth, take a closer look, because your tongue is speaking, and now you're learning to listen. And this is just the beginning. We've started to uncover the secrets hidden in the colors and textures of the tongue. But there's much more to explore. In the next part, we'll dive deeper into what specific tongue appearances mean for different internal organs, and how small daily changes can improve both your tongue's health and your overall well-being. When you first realize that your tongue can act like a mirror of your body, it changes the way you think about health. Every morning when you wake up and check the mirror, your tongue is giving you a clue about what is happening inside you. It is like your personal health reporter, quietly showing you what needs attention. We already talked about how different colors can mean different things, but let's go deeper. Your tongue does not just show color. It shows a map of your internal organs, and each section can reveal how well your body is working. The front part of your tongue often reflects the health of your heart and lungs. If you notice that this part looks very red or irritated, it might mean your body is struggling with stress, breathing issues, or even high blood pressure. If it looks pale or bluish, it may be your heart not pumping strongly or your lungs not getting enough oxygen. Just imagine this tiny front part of the tongue quietly signaling how two of the most vital organs in your body are doing. Now shift your eyes to the middle of the tongue. This part often reflects the stomach and spleen. If you see thick coatings, swelling, or yellow patches here, your digestion may not be running smoothly. People who eat heavy, oily foods or drink too much often see the middle of their tongue coated. Sometimes it even feels heavy or looks swollen. That is your body saying, "Slow down, I need better fuel." A healthy stomach should not leave. such a heavy mark on your tongue, and this clue is one of the simplest ways to know if your food choices are supporting you or hurting you. Then we come to the back part of the tongue. This area often reflects the kidneys, bladder, and intestines. If you see dark shades, purple patches, or thick coatings here, it may mean your body is struggling to filter waste properly or that toxins are building up. Sometimes people with bloating, fatigue, or weak elimination notice these signs first on the back of the tongue. It is as if your body's inner cleaning system is showing you a warning flag right there in your mouth. Do not forget the sides of the tongue either. These are linked to the liver and gallbladder. If the edges look red, swollen, or show teeth marks, it can mean your liver is under stress, maybe from alcohol, too much medicine, or just stress and poor diet. When the liver is not happy, the tongue often shows it. People with irritability, mood swings, or poor digestion often notice their sides looking different. Again, it is a small clue that points to something bigger inside, but it is not only color and location. The surface of your tongue tells its own story too. A healthy tongue should have small bumps called papillae. But when the tongue looks too smooth or bald, it might mean you are low on important nutrients like iron or B vitamins. This can lead to weakness, tiredness, and other issues. Cracks or fissures across the tongue, on the other hand, might show dehydration, long-term dryness, or even digestive imbalances. Every line on the tongue is like a sentence in the story your body is writing. Think about coating as well. A thin white coating is normal, but when it becomes thick and heavy, especially if it is white or yellow, it usually means your digestion or immune system is struggling. A white coating might show yeast or poor digestion, while yellow might point to the stomach or liver being under pressure. If your tongue has no coating at all, it can also mean your body fluids are low, often because of dehydration or heat. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, when was the last time you really looked at your tongue with care? Most of us never do. We spend money on medical tests, health gadgets, and new treatments, but often ignore the free report cards sitting in our mouths. And that is the hook here. Right now, your tongue might be showing you a secret about your health that you are ignoring. You do not need a lab to see it. All you need is awareness. If you are watching this, you are already ahead of the many people who never learn to listen. Imagine someone who has felt fine but notices their tongue is pale every morning. They dismiss it. Months later, they find out they have anemia. Or think of someone whose tongue has been bright red for weeks. They ignore it, only to discover later that their body was screaming for vitamins. The difference between noticing early and noticing too late could mean everything. That is why your tongue is not just for taste, it is for protection. Here is another important point. Your tongue changes quickly. It is not like bones or skin that take months to show damage. Sometimes after a single night of poor sleep or heavy food, your tongue will look different the next morning. This makes it a powerful real-time tool. If you learn to pay attention, you can catch the effects of your lifestyle instantly. Ate too much sugar? Your tongue may look coated. Did not drink enough water? It may look dry and cracked. Feeling run down? The color may shift. It is like instant feedback, helping you correct yourself before real problems appear. Some people dismiss this by saying, "Oh, it is just oral hygiene." But that is only half true. Of course, brushing, cleaning, and hydration affect the tongue. But when changes stay for days or weeks, that is when you know it is not just about cleaning, it is about what is happening inside. Your tongue reflects your digestion, your circulation, your hydration, and your nutrition. This is why for centuries doctors have asked patients to stick out their tongue before anything else. It gives the first raw clue, even before machines and tests. If you start making this a habit, checking your tongue daily, you will begin to notice patterns. Maybe every time you eat heavy food, the middle gets coated. Maybe every time you feel stressed, the sides get red. Maybe when you drink too little water, cracks appear. These patterns help you understand your own body in a way no one else can. You become the expert on yourself, and that awareness is priceless. So here is the challenge for you. Next time you look in the mirror, take 10 seconds to really study your tongue. Notice the color, the texture, the coating, the shape. Compare it with how you feel that day. Over time, you will build a connection between what you see and what you experience. And slowly, you will begin to read the messages clearly. That simple daily habit could save you from bigger health surprises later. As we move toward the final part, remember this truth. Your tongue is not an accident of nature. It is a built-in messenger, a small but powerful voice of your body. It is always speaking, but most people never listen. You are different now. You are beginning to understand. And once you start listening, you will never ignore it again. This is where we will continue. In the last part, we will put all these pieces together with real-life examples of tongue changes, the possible health meanings, and the practical steps you can take in daily life to protect and improve your health. Because knowing the signs is powerful, but acting on them is even more powerful. And that is how your tongue can truly become your greatest ally in health. By now, you have begun to see how your tongue is not just a silent part of your body, but a living signal system that reflects what is going on inside you. You have learned that different colors, coatings, and textures can give important clues. You have seen how each part of the tongue connects to specific organs. And you have understood how daily changes in diet, stress, and hydration can show up almost immediately. Now it is time to bring everything together and see how this knowledge can guide you in real life. Let's begin with some simple real-world examples. Imagine a man in his 40s who feels tired most of the time. He shrugs it off as work stress. But every morning his tongue looks pale. If he understood what that meant, he would realize his body might be lacking iron or B vitamins. Instead of ignoring it, he could go for a checkup, adjust his diet, and prevent a deeper problem like anemia. Another example, a young woman who keeps noticing her tongue is very red and sore. She assumes it is nothing, but in reality, it could be her body signaling a vitamin B12 deficiency or an inflammatory condition. By paying attention early, she could fix the issue before it affects her energy, her mood, and her health in the long run. Think of an older adult who has a bluish or purple tongue. They may not feel much different day to day, but this could be a clue that their circulation or heart is not working as strongly as it should. If that clue is taken seriously, it could lead to an early medical check and possibly prevent a more serious problem. These are not dramatic stories, they are everyday possibilities. And the common thread in all of them is the tongue acting as a messenger. The choice is always the same. Notice the signs or ignore them. This is why tongue observation is such a powerful habit. It does not replace doctors or medical tests, but it gives you the first line of defense. It allows you to become more aware of your body's needs. And in a world where so many illnesses creep up silently, any early warning is a gift. Your tongue offers you that gift every single day. The question is, are you willing to take it? Now, let's talk about what you can do once you notice these signals. If your tongue is pale, it may be time to focus on foods rich in iron and vitamins. Leafy greens, beans, lean meats, or supplements could make a difference. If your tongue is very red, cooling foods, hydration, and checking your vitamin levels may help. If your tongue is coated yellow, supporting your liver and digestion by cutting back on alcohol, fried foods, and processed meals can bring improvement. If your tongue is purple, focusing on circulation, exercise, and possibly seeking medical advice could be the right path. And if your tongue is too dry or cracked, hydration and balancing your fluids becomes essential. Every tongue signal points toward a small lifestyle adjustment that, over time, can prevent a bigger health issue. What makes this so important is that these adjustments are simple. They do not require huge changes or expensive treatments. They just require awareness and small, steady actions. By listening to your tongue, you are basically learning to listen to your body's quiet requests. And when you answer those requests, your body rewards you with energy, balance, and resilience. Here comes the hook that should stay with you. Every time you look at your tongue, you are looking at a summary of your inner health. Imagine if you could check your blood, your liver, your heart, your digestion all at once with no machine, just by sticking out your tongue. That is what is happening. It may not give you every detail, but it gives you enough to know whether you are on the right track or whether something needs attention. That is powerful, and it is something you already carry with you. It is also worth remembering that your tongue will change as your body changes. If you improve your diet, drink more water, and rest well, you may notice your tongue becoming healthier and more balanced in color. This is motivating because it shows you the results of your efforts right away. If your tongue has been coated for weeks and you decide to clean up your eating habits, you may see the coating slowly reduce. If your tongue has been too dry and you start hydrating, it may regain moisture. Watching these changes is like watching your body heal from the inside, one small signal at a time. Of course, there will always be people who say that tongue signs are not important, that they are too simple to matter. But the truth is, doctors have been looking at tongues for centuries for a reason. Even today, many physicians still check the tongue during exams because they know it can reveal hydration levels, circulation, infections, and deficiencies. If experts trust this small organ to give them clues, then why should we ignore it? Think about how many times people suffer from fatigue, digestive problems, or hidden deficiencies without knowing why. They chase answers for months, sometimes years, and all that time the tongue was quietly giving them a clue. This is why paying attention is not a small thing. It can change the way you manage your health. As we come to the end of this journey, let's step back and reflect. Your tongue is not just about taste or speech. It is a messenger, a health monitor, and a daily reminder of balance. It shows you what is happening in your blood, your digestion, your circulation, your hydration, and your nutrition. By learning to read it, you give yourself a free tool to protect your well-being. So tomorrow morning, when you stand in front of the mirror, take a closer look. Ask yourself, what is my tongue saying today? Is it pale, red, yellow, purple, or healthy pink? Is it coated, cracked, or smooth? And most importantly, how do these signs connect with how I feel inside? That simple question can guide your actions, from what you eat to when you rest, from when to hydrate to when to seek help. The real message here is simple. Do not ignore your tongue. Do not dismiss the signals it sends. They are not random. They are not meaningless. They are your body's way of speaking directly to you. If you learn to listen, you gain the power to catch imbalances early, to make better choices, and to live with more awareness. And so, as we close, remember this final truth. Health is not only about waiting for sickness to come. It is about staying one step ahead. Your tongue gives you that chance. It tells you the story of your body every single day. All you need to do is pay attention. If you do, you will discover that the smallest details can protect you in the biggest ways. And that awareness may be the most valuable health habit you ever learn.